There we go. All right, so if you look on if you look on the sheet, you'll realize that it says V Classroom, and then that's what you click to get to here. You just look at the date, all right? When you go in, remember you put your attendance in at the top. If you want to go to Google Classroom, it's right there. You could click it. You could also check out the videos that I put on YouTube, and then there's that Instagram link as well. I probably need to delete that because I haven't put anything on there yet. It's just too much going on. So for today, our learning intention, we're still on going on figuring out how to solve equations. We had started some circle stuff, but I'm gonna jump back a little bit because after reviewing the quiz and stuff, I realized that we're not still all there and we still need some practice, and that's all of us. All right, so we're gonna look at how to solve equations again. But this time we're going to look at how to use the additive and multiplicative inverse to solve equations on both sides of the equation. All right, so our success criteria states that I will be successful when I can use the additive and multiplicative inverse to solve equations with variables on both sides. And then for today, our agenda is we're going to do three things. The first one, we're going to review variables on both sides. So I'm going to go through it with us, and we're going to try and make it a little bit interactive. And then we're going to do a little Nearpod thing, which we've been doing, again, to make it a little bit interactive. And then we're going to do like, it's not a quiz. It's just the platform is called quizzes. It's not a quiz. It's just the platform is called quizzes. All right, so to start out, let me pull up this whiteboard. If you don't have pencil, paper, and all that stuff, please go get your piece of paper and pencil. This is where we're going to work things out together. And I'm going to give each of us a question that we're going to solve on our own. All right, I'm going to give each of us a question that we're going to do on our own. All right. And then we'll communicate whether that's via chat or whatever. But right now, I'm going to go over again how to solve an equation with the variable on both sides. All right, so let me pull this up real quick. I'm going to give us a simple one. Let's do a warm-up real quick first. So I'm going to show you when it's just variable on one side. So say, for instance, I had x plus 2. This is just with the variable on one side. All right? X plus 2 equals 4. Again, we're going to review this first. I want to review this, and then we're going to go with the variable on both sides. So what would be my first step if I'm trying to solve this one right here? This is just a one-step equation. All right? Okay, someone said I minus 2. That's right. So I minus 2 on both sides. I don't know if you guys could see that color. So I'm going to use a different one. You minus 2 on both sides, and that's called the additive inverse. So then this is 0, because 2 minus 2 is 0. So I'm left with x is equal to 4 minus 2 is 2. That's it. Now let's look at another example. Say, for instance, I had x over 2 equals 6. How would I solve that one? What would be the first thing I do to solve that question? X over 2, and remember, I'm trying to find x, all right? So what would be one of the first things I do to solve that? Yes, I saw it in the chat. So since it's dividing by 2, I have to do the opposite. So I'm going to multiply by 2. And whatever done on one side, I got to do it on the other side. So since x was dividing by 2, I have to multiply by 2 for this one. So x is equal to 12. That's called the multiplicative inverse. All right. So x divided by 2 is equal to 6. So since x is divided by 2, I have to multiply to get this 2 at the bottom. I need to get it out. Because remember, goal is to get x by itself. So in order to get this 2 that's dividing, I have to multiply by 2. All right, so we're going to continue this part right here. Let's do, now we're going to add in the equation on both sides. So if I have x plus 2 right? Literally what I just had equals 3 minus 2x. All right, so the goal of this is to get all the x's over here. On the left side, I want all my x's on that side. And then I'm gonna get everything else on the other side. So this 2 right here, it needs to go. So just like how I would minus if it was just a one-step equation, all right, and I'm trying to find x, I have to get rid of this 2. It's the same way, so I'm gonna minus 2. And whatever I do on one side, I have to do it on the other side. And I wouldn't put minus 2 underneath the minus 2x because that's a completely different term. That right there is just an x. That's an x term. So I can't add my 2 to that because they're two different terms. So again, this right here is 0. 2 minus 2 is 0. So I'm left with x equals 3 minus 2 is 1 minus 2x. I still need to do more. I need to get rid of that 2x right there. All right, but since there's a minus sign in front of it, I have to do plus 2x, right? And whatever you do on one side, you got to do it to the other side. And yes, I'm going to put this 2x underneath this x because they're the same terms. They both have x's. All right, so x plus 2x is 3x. If I have one apple and I add 2 apples to it, 3 apples. Just like x, 2x, 3x's. So 3x is equal to 1. Because this right here is 0, so I'm left with 1. Could someone tell me what's my next step? What would be my next step? I have 3x equals 1. What would be my next step to solve this equation? I see someone put it in the chat. Someone put in the chat, divide by 3. Remember, we are trying to find, someone also put minus 1. If I minus 1, then that doesn't leave x by itself. Remember, we're trying to get x by itself. And right now, the only thing blocking x to be by itself is 3. So that's why I have to divide by 3. The only thing stopping x to be by itself right now is 3. So I have to divide by 3 on both sides. So 3 minus 3, that gives me x. 1, this is 1x. And then my answer is 1/3. You can leave it like that. So x is equal to 1/3. So let's look at one more question. Let's do negative 2y plus 4 is equal to y minus 6. So again, my goal is to get the variable on the left side and everything else on the other side. All right, so I need to get the y over here and this 4 over here. They're in the way. They need to go. All right, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take away this 4 first. All right, so in order for me to take away that 4, I need to minus it. Yes, I see some answers in the chat. Thank you. See some answers in the chat. That's good. So minus 4, and whatever you do on one side, you do it on the other side. All right, I'm just working with this number first, which is 4. But because I'm minusing 4 from the left side, when I say one side and next side, I'm talking about the side of the equal sign. So everything over here is on the left side of the equal sign. Everything over here is on the right side of the equal sign. So I'm getting rid of this 4 first, minus 4. And we, like we said, this is 0. So we don't have to write it back. So it's really just saying minus 2y equals, that's 0, so I don't have to write it, equals y, and then minus 6 minus 4 is minus 10. If you put that on your calculator, you'll see that it's minus 10. Now, I need to get this y over to the other side. And if I'm going to get this y over to the other side, since it's a plus y, it's a positive y, right? It's positive y, so I have to minus y. And whatever you do on one side, you do it on the other side. Okay? So again, this right here is 0. And I'm going to write it up here so that we see. So we have minus 2y minus y, which is minus 3y, is equal to minus 10. Now, could someone please tell me what my next step would be? So I'm getting some answers saying that I divide by 3. Are we going to just disregard this negative sign right there? What happens to that? I divide by 3. I'm going to divide by negative 3. Whatever is in front of the variable, that's what I divide by. If it's a positive 3, I divide by positive 3. If it's a negative 3, I divide it by negative 3. All right? I can't leave the sign out. Because if I don't divide by negative 3, I'm going to still have the minus y there, which I'm not trying to find negative y, I'm trying to find positive y. So whatever you do on one side, you do it on the other side. So y is equal to 10 over 3. And it's a positive 10 over 3 because a negative divided by a negative is positive. But that's how you work with these questions with variables on both sides. We're going to work some problems now.